CEO accidentally slept on single dad's shoulder. What happened mid-flight left her speechless. Sometimes the most powerful moments in life happen when we least expect them. Picture this: a high-powered CEO, exhausted from back-to-back meetings, boards a red-eye flight home. She's used to first-class luxury, but tonight, fate had other plans. Within minutes of takeoff, she falls into a deep sleep, her head gently resting on the shoulder of a complete stranger. When she wakes up hours later, she's mortified. But what this stranger says next will restore your faith in humanity and remind you that kindness costs nothing, yet means everything. This is a story about two people from completely different worlds whose lives intersected for just a few hours. What happened between them is a beautiful reminder that compassion knows no boundaries, and sometimes the smallest acts of grace can leave the deepest impact on our hearts. Before we dive into this incredible story, I want to invite you to join our Heartfelt Moments family. If you love stories that celebrate the goodness in humanity, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of inspiration. Give this video a thumbs up if you believe the world needs more kindness, and drop a comment below telling us about a time someone showed you unexpected compassion. Your stories matter, and we love hearing from you. Now, let's get into this remarkable encounter that happened 30,000 feet in the air. Rachel Morrison was the kind of woman who commanded respect the moment she entered a room. As the CEO of a major tech company in San Francisco, she was used to tight schedules, important decisions, and very little sleep. On this particular Thursday evening, she had just wrapped up a grueling 3-day conference in New York. Her assistant had booked her usual first-class seat home, but a last-minute system error meant she was bumped to coach. Rachel wasn't happy about it, but she was too exhausted to argue. As she made her way down the narrow aisle of the Boeing 737, pulling her carry-on behind her, she located her seat, 23B, a middle seat. She sighed, settling in between a teenager glued to his phone on one side and a man with kind eyes holding a sleeping toddler on the other. The man gave her a polite nod and shifted slightly to give her more room, carefully adjusting the little girl in his arms. Rachel barely noticed. Within minutes of takeoff, the exhaustion of her week caught up with her. Her eyes grew heavy, and despite her best efforts to stay upright, sleep pulled her under like a wave. Her head tilted, first toward the window, then slowly, inevitably, onto the shoulder of the stranger beside her. Marcus Chen was used to long nights and uncomfortable positions. As a single father to 3-year-old Lily, he'd learned to sleep sitting up, to eat with one hand, and to find patience he never knew he had. Tonight, he was flying home to Seattle after visiting his late wife's parents in Boston. Lily had finally fallen asleep after fighting it for an hour, and Marcus was looking forward to a few moments of peace. When he felt the weight of the woman's head against his shoulder, his first instinct was to gently wake her. But something stopped him. He looked down and saw the exhaustion etched into her face, even in sleep. He noticed her white-knuckled grip on her briefcase, the expensive but rumpled business suit, the shadows under her eyes. This was someone who needed rest desperately. So Marcus made a decision. He sat perfectly still. For the next 3 hours, as his shoulder grew numb and his neck began to ache, he didn't move. He didn't reach for the book in his bag. He didn't adjust his position. When the flight attendant came by with drinks, he quietly waved her off, not wanting to disturb either of the sleeping people depending on him. He simply sat there, a gentle anchor for two souls who needed him. When the captain announced their descent into Seattle, Rachel's eyes fluttered open. For a moment, she was disoriented, comfortable, and warm. Then reality hit her like cold water. She was leaning against a complete stranger. She jerked upright, her face flushing deep red with embarrassment. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," she stammered, her professional composure completely shattered. "I can't believe I'm so sorry. Your shoulder must be killing you." "I don't know what happened, I just..." Marcus smiled warmly and gently rotated his stiff shoulder. "Please, don't apologize. You clearly needed the rest. I'm just glad you got some sleep." Rachel looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. She noticed the little girl still sleeping peacefully in his arms, the worn wedding ring he still wore, the tiredness in his eyes that matched her own. "But I slept on you for hours. You should have woken me up." "I thought about it," Marcus admitted, his voice gentle. "But you reminded me of someone. My wife, actually. She passed away 2 years ago. She was a nurse, worked terrible hours, and she used to fall asleep anywhere when she was exhausted, grocery store lines, park benches, you name it. She gave everything to taking care of other people. Looking at you, I figured you probably do the same. Sometimes we all just need someone to lean on, even if they're a stranger. It's the least we can do for each other, right?" Rachel felt tears prick her eyes, something that rarely happened to her. "I don't know what to say." "Thank you. That's incredibly kind." "It's just a shoulder," Marcus said with a shrug. "We all need one sometimes." As the plane touched down and passengers began gathering their belongings, Rachel reached into her bag and pulled out a business card. "I don't usually do this, but if you or your daughter ever need anything, please reach out." "Seriously? Anything?" Marcus took the card and looked at it, his eyebrows raising slightly when he saw her title. "I appreciate that, but honestly, seeing you get some rest was enough." "Just promise me something?" "What's that?" "Pass it on. The next time someone needs a shoulder, literally or figuratively, be that person for them. That's how we make the world a little better, one small kindness at a time." Rachel nodded, her throat tight with emotion. "I promise." Rachel kept that promise. She started small, covering coffee for the person behind her in line, giving her assistant unexpected days off, really listening when her employees needed support. But she also did something bigger. She launched a company initiative called Shoulders to Lean On, providing mental health resources, flexible schedules, and support systems for her employees who were struggling. She never forgot that the most powerful executive decision she could make was to simply be human. As for Marcus, he never knew the full impact of his simple act of kindness. But that's the beautiful thing about compassion. We don't do it for recognition or reward. We do it because it's who we choose to be in a world that desperately needs more gentleness. Sometimes the most profound moments happen when we least expect them. A shoulder offered. A burden shared. A stranger choosing kindness over convenience. These are the moments that remind us we're all in this together, flying through life at 30,000 feet, just hoping for a safe landing and maybe, if we're lucky, someone kind sitting beside us. What act of kindness will you offer today?